Hello, 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 goal-inspired career professionals. Welcome, welcome, welcome to GICC Live Show. This is a career advancement show where I help you up level in your career to be the best that you would like to be. So I'm going to tell you guys, if you are watching on the live, put hashtag live. And if you are watching on the replay, guys, put hashtag replay. I'm so happy to see you here, and all our people are here. So we have some guests coming in, and I'm so happy to see all these guests coming in. And we are going to talk today about some interview questions, right? And I'm going to give you some answers in the form even of a template, okay? So that's a wonderful thing. So I'm not going to go into telling you who I am and all that stuff, because you know what? You all know me by now. I'm on LinkedIn every day. I'm on YouTube, and I am on the Facebook in the Career Advancement Club. If you want to join my Facebook Career Advancement Club, that will be a wonderful thing. And on LinkedIn, you can follow me because I give very, very, very inspirational information every day. And I give also tips for career advancement. I help you to get hired. I have a very good success rate of people getting hired. I shorten the gap in your job search. Okay, so that's wonderful. So I have Lily. Welcome, Lily. Thank you for coming. I see Dr. Renee is here, Renee Robinson, and she says, I'm looking radiant today. And I like to hear that. You know, every woman likes to hear some nice thing about themselves. And Jay is here, and Robert says, why do you want to work here? And he says, I need the money. So Robert kicked it off for me. Thank you, Robert. I'm going to go straight into it right now and talk about why do you want to work here? And just to let you know that my real topic today was, why should I hire you? Okay, just let me make sure that you are actually seeing my screen, guys. Let me make sure you are actually seeing my screen. Okay, so you got the screen now, so we can talk about that. So why do you want to work here? And as I said, my real question today was, why should I hire you? And I did my trailer to talk about why do you want to work here? And I realized today I had to do some, editing. So it took me a little while today to edit and gave you some more. So that's a bonus, because I think, the higher power wants me to talk about this one. Why do you want to work here? So I'm going to talk about that first, and I'm going to give you some tips to do that, and then we'll talk about the other one. So why do you want to work here? Now, when a company hires you, they don't hire you because you're looking for a job. No. They don't hire you because you need money, right? So don't go and say, I really need a job. I've heard people say that before. I really need this job. But that is not the reason why they're hiring you. I need the money. We all know that we need the money, but we're going to be a little bit better than that. We're going to go to show them that we have what they need to solve their problems. So let us talk about a company. This question focuses on the company, okay? It focuses on the company. So every company, to be profitable, they have to have their three P's: people, products, and services in sync. So this is a very easy way to think about this one, because you're answering a question from a company that wants to be profitable. So you're going to focus on the company and say some nice things about the company. And how do you do that? The reason why I bring in the three P's is because I'm giving you an easy way to answer, an easy way to remember. So the night before the interview, you're not going around like with your head chopped off like a little chicken, because, sometimes when we are stressed, we do that, right? Head chopped off like a little chicken, because I want to give you a method. Think about the company, the people, the type of people they hire, their products and services, their processes. company culture and environment, and the reputation in the industry. So how do you know about that? Okay, how do you know about that? You are going to have to do some homework. If you're going for a job interview, you prepare. You have to know why you chose to apply. Even before you apply, just don't go send random applications all over the place. Because you could go to that company, you don't know about it, you get the job, and you're miserable. You just jumped out of the frying pan, guys, or you jumped into the fire. Okay? We don't want that. After you've been looking for a job for 6 months, and you get a crappy job, right? So be intentional about it. So you're going to get some practical steps to do. So get your pen and paper and write it down. You got to list the reasons why you want to work for this company, because that's how you're going to coach your answer. You're going to read and know the job description so very well. Know what interests you about this position. Know the company's pain points. It is in the job description. That is why people write job descriptions. If they did not want to hire you based on certain criteria, they wouldn't bother to write a job description. So the job description has your pain points. And we're not going through job description right now, but remember, most good companies would list the most important points, bullet points first. What are most important to them? So look for what they're solving. And now you have a solution. Demonstrate how you can solve their problems, okay? So you're going to do your research. So you're doing 3 things. You're listing the reasons why you want to work for the company. You're reading and knowing the job description and their pain points and how you can solve them. And you're going to do a research about the company. So you do your research, read articles, news, read about their mission and their core values, and research them on social media. Research their social media presence. You got to do that, okay? So so let me go back to some questions here. And Claudia, right? I'm a team player. Always wanted to get into the field. And Claudia said that. And Robert and Michael says, good evening. And Lisa has something to say, a nice little thing here. It is simple. I read the company's mission and vision. And after finding out more information about the company from social media, I can clearly see how my goals align with the purposes of the company. There's nothing I love more than when I'm working with other engaged individuals towards a common goal. Okay, so that is very nice because she's finding out about the company, what they do, and to see if what she has done before aligns with what the company is doing, so that she don't go to the company and then in 2 weeks she's still looking at a job, and then her resume looks like she's been job hopping all over the place. Okay, and Michael says also look for their 5-year plan. This is actually good because it will give you the strategic direction, and find what you bring to the company that matches where they are planning or going. This is golden. This is golden. So we have some nice big answers here from Lisa, and we have another answer here from Michael. Guys, you can find their strategic plan. If it is even the government department you're going into, their strategic plan is on the government website. If it is a private company, their plans are on the website, and they put out information all the time. I see on LinkedIn too, you always see information coming out of these companies. So those are some really, really, really good points there, guys. Those are some really good points. So let us continue to see how else we can answer this. Now, remember to ensure that there is synergy, right? Synergy between your attributes and what the company is doing. And that is why Lisa says she reads the goals of the company to see how if there's an alignment, if there's a match. So your skills and attributes are a good match to have good synergies and could add value to the working team. Every company nowadays, I mean, it's easier to apply for a job these days and research a company than 5 years ago. Because all companies now know that social media, social selling is the best way to go. And most companies know, they know that if they don't do social selling, they're going to be left out. So if you need information about a company, it is online. So when you're going to look for a job, remember, and I will go back and say what the things that you were to make sure that you research the company. Okay, know how your skills match and align with the company. And guys, read the job description, because some job descriptions, I find at the beginning of the job description, what they do, they normally put something about the company, especially these big ones down here in Canada for the Canadian federal government. What they normally do, they put a whole big list of what the department is doing or what the project is doing. If anybody on here is IT, the IT people always write something about the project. So I find that IT job descriptions, to me, and maybe it's because I worked in IT for 15 years, I find that they write pretty good job descriptions about what they're looking for in the candidate. Some of the other skill sets, maybe if it's an administrative assistant and so on, sometimes it's a little bit fluffy. But as you know, administrative assistants, a lot of times, to get those jobs, you have to have a lot of transferable skills, the warm skills, the soft skills. And maybe that is why it looks, a little bit fluffy to us. But those skills are very important, right? So today wasn't talk about that. So we're going to just continue talking about how do you answer that question. Good answers can be a combination of anything like this, right? So when you research a company, you are able to tell them now that their company is a leader in the industry. And based on what you have explained about where you're taking the company, remember, Michael says, their strategic plan. So based on what we read in the strategic plan, guys, we are able to answer this. Okay. Based on my research, I understand that you have existing plans for the future, and I would like to be a part of your journey or something like that. Or I will be able to use my skills, experience, and knowledge to help, right, on that journey. And then you're going to tell them, what you do, because you're telling them those experience, knowledge, and skills. I don't know it, so I just had to put some filler here. Okay. Right. I understand from my research that you invest and support in your employees so that they can excel within their roles, and you promote from within. I know a company in Ottawa. It's because I know that company very well. They promote from within. If I was a young person, I'm young, right? Yeah, I'm young. Okay. I'm young. But if I was mid-level career professional, I would want to work for that company. You know why? Because I'm going to move up. I'm going to be able to grow to be the director or the manager. So sometimes that can be something. When you research a company, when you research the people who have worked there, you're finding that they're promoting people all the time. Now, there are certain companies, when you look at the companies, you'll see that they do not promote from within. If you want to grow in a company, it's better to go and work for the company that promotes from within, or else if you're very, very ambitious, you're only going to stay there 2 years. As soon as you get the experience, you're gone. Because remember, what makes your heart sing when you're looking for a job? What makes your heart sing is to get the promotion. You don't get the promotion, you're going to be frustrated. So always remember to go and write down those things, okay? And I'm going to switch back here one little bit. Remember that you have to list the reasons why you want to work for the company. Read the job description, know their pain points, know how you can solve their problems, and do the research. Okay? Remember, I'm going back to that all the time. So these practical steps that you should be writing down to make sure you have a list of these things, you got to take a screenshot. Okay? All right. So let us look at other ways that we could answer these questions. More good answers. You can go on Glassdoor and research your company, right? Because Glassdoor, people love to go on Glassdoor and say why they hate the companies, right? So Glassdoor is a good example of where you can go and get information. There are lots of positive comments online in places such as Glassdoor about your company. And if I'm successful at an interview, I'll be thrilled to be a part of your success story. Remember, people, products, and processes. It's all about the company right now, right? I want to work here because Say what you did in the past to solve a similar problem. You can say you want to work there because you work in this area and you're thrilled about doing these things and you love to do those things and you can help this company move forward or leapfrog or help them with their strategic objectives, realize your objectives. Say what your greatest relative strength is. So this one here is talking about how you're going to use your skills to help the company, right? And you're going to use it to help their problems, to help them solve their problems, right? So this one, guys, is a really wonderful one. I love it. I love it because you are able to talk about the people, the product, and the services. You're able to focus on the company. Why do you want to work here? This is not the time when you go do braggadocious. This is a time when you go and make the company be the focal point, right? We're going to talk about the other questions where you can go and brag a little bit, right? But this question, and maybe, I'm getting some good signals from above today because these two questions that I'm talking about today, like one has to focus on you and the other one has to focus on the company. So why do you want to work here in my environment, in this company? You can't go want to work there if you don't know anything about the company. So that's a wonderful thing. So I'm going to go back to comments a litwhat do you think about that? So that's the answer to my first question. And I have another question coming up, then the hot one that I really was going to delve in today when I had to kind of take a turn and talk about this one too, right? Because you must never be afraid of doing anything. I did that this morning. I said, oh my goodness, I made a mistake and I already did my trailer. So I'm gonna reset. And all I did was to reset. And I'm comfortable with my community right now. You guys know, right? So let me know, guys, what you think. And thanks for all these comments. And I'm going to continue here. All right, so let us continue. Now, next one. Why should I hire you? Right? This one is kind of a little tricky because a lot of people don't know how to answer it. Why should I hire you? Okay? All right. Do not say hire me because I'm a team player or I'm a hard worker. I'm a team player. I'm a hard worker. Anybody can say that, right? That's like an answer that you got from Google. Okay, we don't want them to think that you were Googling answers for them. So you're going to have to do a little better than that, right? So why should I hire you? This is a time when, before I get there, this question, guys, is similar to what are your strengths? It is also similar to why do you feel that you're the best candidate for this job? Okay, remember, if you know how to answer this question, you will know how to answer what are your strengths. You will also know how to answer why do you feel you are the best candidate. So we are taking one stone and we're killing 3 birds today, okay? For this question. This question requires a little bit. Okay, you're not seeing my screen, I don't think. I think I took you off. So this question requires a little bit of self-promotion. Okay, it is not bright, but I'm going to read it for you, right? I'm going to read it for you here. All right. So let me say that again. This one is similar to what are your strengths and why do you feel you are the best candidate, right? And this question or these 3 questions require a little bit of self-promotion, right? So this is the time when you can go and tell them about yourself. Why they should hire you, they want to know, all right? You are going to know your unique value proposition. What is unique about you? And in a last show or some shows before, I talked to you about your zone of genius, right? Some people may not like that word because it talks about genius and you think you're not a genius. You're a genius. There is something that you do better than somebody else. In that job that you're applying for, remember, you have to stand out. You have to stand out like this lady in the yellow dress. She's standing out because she can be seen from afar. You have to stand out because they might need one person for the job and they got 100 applications. You are always in a competition. So don't go on LinkedIn and hear people fussing and saying all kinds of things about companies, because you know that when you're applying for the job, you're always in a competition. Sometimes they only want one person, they get 2,000 resumes, right? So you're going to know what is unique about you, something that you can do better than somebody else, okay? That is very important. And now I'm going to read some of these comments here. And Michael says, once again, I go back to what I and my skill set bring to the company. And awesome. Okay. So you have to go back again to what you can do for the company. Okay. If I am going for a job as a technical recruiter, not many technical recruiters know anything about the technical. They know about the recruiter, the recruiting, right? So I would consider myself an expert because I recruited for a company in the technical area for 15 years, and I have a technical background. That's what I paid my $15,000 when I came to Canada, and I went to Algonquin and I did my MCSC and my CCNA. Yeah, did them and passed them because I like to study, and I felt that if I'm going to go into IT, I got to know that stuff. So when I went into recruiting, when people are struggling and can't understand these technical requirements, I was able to understand them. So if I look at that, I would say I would list all my skills, and I know that I'm very good recruiter. I'm very good at because I also did sales in my past life. It was a perfect job for me, even though it was not in my trajectory. That job was a perfect job for me 100%. So what you have to do, guys, you have to go back and see what is your unique value proposition. And remember, I also said I was a lecturer at a university, a professor. I knew how to write job descriptions, and I would know how to write courses. And I ended up teaching the recruiters. I end up developing courses. So a lot of times a company will hire you for something, but when you go to an interview and you can present yourself and show them what you have to offer. And I didn't even realize that at the end of the day, at my retirement, my boss told me that when I came for the interview, I was so qualified, I have all these things. And she was looking strategic. She hired me, and there was no job. I didn't apply for the job too. That's another thing. It was in what I call maybe the 1% secret job market. It wasn't advertised. Okay, I was referred to it. I went in there, and you show them what you have. So that's the same thing with everybody on LinkedIn looking for work. I just don't understand why you're on LinkedIn looking for work and it takes 6 months. I don't know. I just don't get it. I do not get it because I think it takes strategy. But when you get the interview, make sure you clinch that interview with these beautiful answers. Okay. So I'm going to go on a little more here. You're going to focus on you. So because you're focusing on you, you're still now going to know the job description. These are the two things. I think 2 or 3 things. Know the job description. Read it several times. Not 1 time, not 2 times, not 3 times, right? This is one of the reasons why I'm not a resume writer. I teach people how to write their own resume. I get them to read it. I go through the job description and I go through the resume with them. I show them how to optimize their resume to the job description. Now, I am on LinkedIn a lot and I'm reading a lot and I'm on there a lot. And I see all the people fussing and all that about job descriptions and all that stuff, guys. You got to read the job description many times. You got to optimize that resume and make sure that there's a way to optimize the resume so you can answer all the questions that relate to your work experience or the selected professional experience that you have on the resume. Okay, so you read that job description several times and find out how you can help them, and you need to have read it several times, know what their pain points. It comes back down to the company's pain points. It comes back down to what problem the company has to solve. If the company don't think you can solve their problem, somebody else is going to get the job. If you are a recruiter and you're looking for a job right now, if you are a UI designer, an interface designer, you're going for that job right now, there's something in the job description that things that you have to demonstrate first in your resume for them to call you, and then you have to demonstrate in the interview. Know their pain points. What are their problems? Know their pain points. Know your zone of genius. What you think you can do better than anyone else so that you can highlight them. Ensure your unique talent and skills relate to the position. Remember, they're not hiring you because you want a job. They're hiring you because they have a problem, right? Think of your unique skill that no one else has. If possible, bring artifacts. If you're in IT right now, some people have reached out to me recently. They're in IT because they know that part of my zone of genius is that I was an IT recruiter for 15 years and I placed a lot of people in the Canadian federal government, cloud engineers, full stack developers, right? All that stuff, .NET developers, everybody, PMs, business architects, high-level people. Okay, so they know that I know IT. Also, remember, if you're in IT, that you have to make sure that you could bring an artifact too, especially if you're technical. You have unique skills, every one of you on this call. Everybody, think back a time when you use a skill to tell your story, because pretty much an interview is about you going and telling some mini stories. When you did such and such in a job and so on. But all these questions that we're talking about today, sometimes you're doing interviews, guys, and people say do the STAR method, the CAR method, and so on. Remember, these ones that we're answering today, you cannot use STAR and CAR for these. When you're using STAR methods and CAR methods, STAR meaning you look at the situation, you look at the task you have to perform, you look at the action you took and the results. When you're using those ones, it's when they're talking about, the particular skills. But when you're talking about why do you want to work here and so on, you have to, it's a little different, okay? So remember that, okay? All right, so I see my friend Aldo is here. Thanks, Aldo. Thank you for coming in, and I'm happy to see that you are here. Right. So remember, if you have a unique skill, think back to a time when you use that skill and your story. It's always easier for the technical people. I don't know why it's so easy for them. Maybe it's so hard to be a technical person, to be a developer, because it's so easy for them to go and talk about the projects that they do, because their work is a lot project-based, right? But if your job is not project-based, guys, there's stuff in your company that you do that you can relate to mini stories like a project. For example, if you are in administration and you had to move the company from in office to online in COVID, that's a great story, right? That's a great story, right? And you can always talk about how you were able to do it and how you increase productivity, because that's challenging for a lot of companies. They want you to come in there to shine how your productivity went up during COVID and ours went down, right? How did you motivate those people, right? How were you able to sell so much product during COVID when everybody else were complaining? This is an opportune time for you to demonstrate those skills. Now, remember I said that you can show and tell. You can bring examples. Let me shift this up a little bit. You can bring examples, show or tell your mini stories, bring an artifact or two, show them something that you have done, a project. You can have 3 of these, but this is tell me about yourself, or why should I hire you? is not the time when you go silent. This is a time when you self-promote. Okay? This is a time when you get the opportunity to self-promote. Right? Remember, why do you want to work here? You focus on the company, say all the nice things about them. But when they talk about why should I hire you, you gotta self-promote. And it takes confidence, right? It takes confidence. So let us look how you could answer the question of why should I hire you? Let us look at the answers. Think about the company, the position, and the gap. Think about what the company is doing, what the position is, and what their problem is. Right? For example, if you're in customer care, and whether you say customer care or customer service, potato, okay? Tomato. I'm not in that area, but I know there's sometimes subtle differences in them. Just fix it, put whatever, because as I told you, in these shows, titles mean nothing. It's what you have done. Because if you work with Bell Canada, you could be doing the same thing, and work in TELUS doing the same thing, and they call you something else, okay? Or call you this different title. So don't worry about the titles. Worry about how you match the requirements of the job. So if you are in customer care, and you should be able to say in a concrete way how you can help them to improve customer satisfaction, and you quantify it. You need to use data points. When you're improving, you're increasing something, so you can tell them your mini stories. So if you are a career professional here, you should have some mini stories. You should have some quantifiable mini stories in your job. If you have been at the same job for 10 years, unless you do the same thing over and over again every day, you should have some mini quantifiable mini stories. When you're a recruiter, you know recruiters are their performance, their KPIs, their key performance indicators are stuff how many people you place. If you're in customer care, it's how many satisfied customers, right? If you're in accounting, if you're an auditor, you know, how you improve the performance of the organization, right? If you're in administration, if you're HR, right? A client relationship and employee relationship, morale building, improvement went up by 50%. Okay, so I've belabored that one. I have worked in customer care for more than 10 years, improving customer satisfaction. Put some numbers there. I will help to implement strategies to improve customer satisfaction standards with your team in a very short period of time. If you're good with team building, every company wants people to team build so that they don't keep storming and not performing, okay? Tell a story of how you improve customer satisfaction and quantify more. For example, if you're a recruiter, I just gave you the idea that if you're a recruiter and you were technical, you can say how you use the strong skill, and if they are hiring you for that. You may be a business analyst, but you have strong skills in AI. All right? What are you good at? You're a business analyst. What are you good at? You're a QA analyst. What are you good at? What have you been doing in your company better than anybody else? Right? And remember also, if you use soft skills to show how you do some of these jobs different from other people, that is where you're going to get your promotion, right? We talked about getting promotion before. What makes you promotion? How to elevate. I have worked as a BA for more than 10 years, improving, fill in the blanks. I will help to implement strategies to improve, fill in the blanks, with your team in a very short period of time, right? That's very, very important. Let me see if I have more for you, right? More. I understand that one of the key responsibilities of this position is, say what it is, and I understand how it affects, right? Insert whatever it affects. In previous positions, I have had the opportunity to do, this is the same answer, okay? And I'm deeply passionate about, insert what you're passionate about. When I'm provided with the opportunity to serve, And I'm so positive, guys. I would say when I get the job, when I'm provided with the opportunity to serve your company, I will make a valuable contribution to the achievement of the team's success. Or you can say I will help to increase so and so and so, right? So this one is a good one. This template is can be quantifiable, right? You can take a screenshot of it, right? Because you're saying you understand the job, and in a past job you have done X, which is similar, and you have gained these results. And when you give me this job, guys, I'm going to help you. What your problem is, I'm going to help you to fix it. Okay? I think I'm not so sure you were seeing the screen a while ago, so I'm going to put that back, right? Now I have some questions here. Do you think it's hard to continue leadership when pivoting to different careers? No. Although no, because leadership skills are the ones that are transferable, right? When you become a leader, some of the things that you are doing are transferable skills. So the communication skills, the team building, and so on and so on. Okay. And let me go back to top. I probably need to get this from the top. Aldo said, I created food safety and service policy for food servicing at the beginning of COVID. That is great because not everybody did that. And that is a good thing to have as a mini story. And I'm pivoting away from this, but it was a project. That's fine. And then here I will measure via an evaluation study the service program to set a benchmark from here to make the needed improvements required. So Michael said this, and that's a good, so he's talking about evaluation study to study the service program to set a benchmark, right? So you do the studies and all that. And I'm going back again to Aldo, who says, do you think it's hard to continue in leadership when pivoting to a different career? And I am saying to Aldo, no, because job pivoting is not easy, but if you have the right strategies, it's not hard. Right? You need strategy because you're pivoting away from something that you did to doing something else. But remember that if you're a director, if you're a manager, if you look at a director's resume, and if you have the good people who are hiring you, a director's resume normally look a little different from people who do tasks, because directors' resumes are written for a lot of accomplishments and a lot of soft skills and a lot of motivating and a lot of team building and a lot of caring for the people, lifting people and productivity, right? So it's a little different, right? So it's not that I designed the application for the TSFA that does that and that for consumers. No, that's the developer. But the team lead will probably develop his developers or guided the developers. And there are a lot of words that you can use to describe what you've done. I have a list of I call them what do I call those lists again? But words, action words that can help you to elevate your resume. I have a nice list of action words that if you DM me on LinkedIn, I can send that to you, that you can use to creative action words, because all of your statements should begin with an action word. Okay. So I'm going to make sure that you're seeing my screen because I was doing that. So let me go back here and finishing up this, right? So I want to make sure that this example, you've got this one, because this is the one where you're saying, I've done this in the past, and this is your pain point, and this is how I can help you because these were my achievements, and I can do it for you. I can do the same thing for you. So that's a wonderful thing. Okay. So the next one is, today, as I say, today's maybe like a 45-minute show or stuff like that, because we're just doing every week now. We're just doing these interview questions and answers so that I can knock them off for you. Last week I did tell me about yourself, right? And I told you that tell me about yourself is not a question. And I had that one for you. And if you did not watch it, you can watch it on the YouTube. It's harder to find it in LinkedIn because they get buried, but it is on YouTube. Okay, Goal Inspired Career Coaching. If you do that, you'll find me. So show your personality. That's the final thing I have to say. When you go for an interview, don't be nervous. And that's how you're going to show your personality, because you're going to make sure that you're properly prepared. If you do all the things that I said here today, do your research, know your job description, know what you have done, practice it, know it, you should be okay, right? However, what I've not done today, I have not taken a job description and give you a mock interview, which is what I do with people. Because I have a technical background, I have a financial background, I have administrative background, right? So financial, I understand balance sheets, I understand everything about finance, profit and loss, and so on, right? Income statements and all that. I do understand that. I understand technical cloud technologies with Kubernetics and stuff like that. I understand that, right? I understand development. I understand infrastructure. So when I am interview prepping anybody in those areas, I actually take their job and I ask them technical questions to see how they're going to answer those questions, along with some of these questions. Because if you Google these questions, you can find answers all over Google. Everybody look at it this differently. Some a little bit more confusing too. But remember, if you are answering any questions that has to do with a company, what the company does, just remember, every company is in business for profitability, right? Every company is in business for profitability. And you have to coach your question with regard to the 3 P's of profitability, which is people, product, and services. So you're going to work and improve that, right? When it comes to you, you're going to know your zone of genius, what you can do better than somebody else who's going for this job, because you are in a competition. You're going to practice with a friend. If it is, and I have a YouTube channel, guys, and people watch it and get jobs, right? So it has everything that you really need. But if you need extra help, then you might need to get that extra help to close the gap in your job search. However, there is information there and you can use it. Free information doesn't cost you a cent, right? However, if you need more information, like a one-on-one thing, then it's different, right? It's different. Okay, so remember, show your personality, show your passion for the work, right? This is where the interview confidence comes in. And I also have a video on YouTube that talks about interview confidence that makes you stand out, something like that. If you go on my channel, it is there. So it is very important, because you could do all this and go to the interview and become nervous. All right. So let me know, guys, if this was helpful. Let me know if this is helpful to you, because that's very important to me. I want a little feedback, because if you don't give me feedback, don't be afraid. Give me feedback, guys. I'm confident. I can take it. I can take feedback. So give me feedback and let me know. You can work with me. My website is called goalinspiredcareercoaching.com. And when you go there, you can click. It looks like this when you enter. Let's connect. And Let's Connect takes you to a page like this. You can tell me what your pain points are. You can send me a message. Or if you can't find Goal Inspired Career Coaching.com, I am on LinkedIn. Okay, I am on LinkedIn. Okay, so remember, just a revision here to say what we went through today, guys. Remember, we talked about why do you want to work here? You focus on the company, and I gave you strategies and templates for that. And why should I hire you? That's very important. And I also gave you templates and strategies for that. So April Dixon says thank you. Michael says thank you. My YouTube channel is called Goal Inspired Career Coaching. It's the same like my website is called goalinspiredcareercoaching.com. My YouTube channel is called goal inspired career coaching. And if you can also follow me on LinkedIn, and that would be a great thing. Okay. So today, guys, we are going to go out and I'm going to show you something here to show you the service that I offer in my trailer. Okay. So I see you next week and you can